Oh boy, you know what? I absolutely love this idea! This is the exact kind of thing the Vancouver Canucks need to be doing! They have the 3rd overall pick in this year's NHL Entry Draft. Okay, that's great. That's confirmed. They also have the 24th overall pick, courtesy of the Quinn Hughes trade with the Minnesota Wild. Not to mention the fact that the Vancouver Canucks also happen to have 2 picks in the 2nd round of this year's draft as well. They have their own 2nd round pick, which is pretty much a late first. It's 33rd overall, if you wanted to look at it like that. Is it actually 33rd? I know some of the other teams that had their picks taken away might influence it. Okay, so Ottawa is 32nd overall, end of the 1st round. Vancouver is 33rd. Vancouver also has the 41st overall draft pick, which they had acquired from the San Jose Sharks in the Kiefer Sherwood trade. So 4 picks in the first 2 rounds, 4 picks in the top 41 of the NHL draft. That's not bad at all. And when you consider the fact that the Vancouver Canucks are kind of starved for top quality prospects in general, this is one of these situations where quantity is probably a lot more desirable than quality per se. Like, okay, yeah, it would have been great for Vancouver to get number 1, but number 3 ain't that bad. But you know, here's the interesting part about all of this. The 2026 NHL Entry Draft, by most people's accounts, has 1 or 2 guys that should be at the top of the draft rankings. They are McKenna and Stenberg. After McKenna Stenberg, the rest of the draft can be scrambled around in any order from 3 to essentially 10, and it would make sense depending on who you asked. You have people like Craig Button rating guys like Carson Carroll 2nd overall. Like, okay, that's pretty cool. Nice ranking over there, Craig. It's certainly a lot different from the consensus. He has Carroll's at number 2. He has Chase Reed at number 3. Ivar Stenberg's at number 4 on Craig Button's list. So maybe it's not even a consensus, but still, Carson Carroll's can go 2nd. Chase Reed could potentially go high. You still have Keaton Verhoff, whose consolidated ranking is number 3. You have Ryan Lynn, a guy out of Richmond, BC, playing on the Vancouver Giants, who was also a top defenseman, not to mention Albert Smits, who is a top defenseman out of Yukoret. There are a number of D-men, there are a number of centers. Tynan Lawrence consolidated ranking is 7. Viggo Bjork has been climbing the draft rankings like crazy. He is like a Swedish Nick Suzuki, depending on who you ask. And then Caleb Malhotra. Oh boy, Caleb Malhotra, he could also be in that top of the draft conversation. Vancouver might be interested in taking him at 2 if they had the 2nd overall pick. But here's the thing that I wanted to talk about. Quantity over quality can definitely play a part in how the Vancouver Canucks operate this draft. And I wanted to refer to an idea that was tossed out there by Jason Bukala on Canucks Talk alongside of Jamie Dodd and Thomas Strantz yesterday. He's making this trade happen. You need volume. Here is Jason Bukala's proposed trade to the Calgary Flames for the Vancouver Canucks in trading away the 3rd overall pick. Here's what follows. Calgary would get 3rd overall. Vancouver would get 6th, 28th, 35th, and 36th overall. Would you do it? Now, for me personally, I'm looking at that and I'm saying, yeah, okay, that's an amazing deal. Imagine trading down from 3 to 6, and the reward you get for doing that is an extra 1st and 2 extra seconds within the beginning of the 2nd round. Let's go over back to the Puckpedia list over here. The Calgary Flames have a number of draft picks in this year's draft as well. They have their own 1st, which is, as we had noted, 6th overall. They have the first round pick from the Vegas Golden Knights, which was acquired in the Noah Hanifin trade. Yeah, no, you thought we were going to say the Rasmus Anderson trade. Nope, that was from 2 years ago. The Noah Hanifin trade. 28th overall at the time of recording this audio. In fact, that could actually become 30th or 31st overall, depending on if the Vegas Golden Knights make the finals. But right now, it's at the 28th overall spot. Even if it did go down 2 picks, 3 picks, it would still be 30 or 31. And then, the Calgary Flames' own second-round pick is 36. They also have the 35th overall pick from the New York Rangers, which was acquired in the Mackenzie Weegar trade with the Utah Mammoth, a pick that was initially acquired by Arizona in the Patrick Nemeth trade. And Ty Emberson. Okay, that was freaking 4 years ago. So, yeah, 2026 draft picks have been changing hands over the years like crazy. But that essentially just concludes here. Calgary has 36, 35. They have 28, 30, or 31 as their Vegas first. And then, of course, they have their own first-round pick at 6th overall. Bukala is proposing Vancouver drops down 3 spots, and they get rewarded with 3 more top 40 picks to get that done. I'm saying hell yeah. I'm saying the Vancouver Canucks already have 4 picks in the top 41 of this draft. If they take that from 4 to 7... Could you imagine the Canucks getting 7 top 40 picks in this year's draft? Like... not even to mention the fact that the entire conversation and the controversy about the 3rd overall pick would be out the window. Oh yeah, if the Vancouver Canucks take Caleb Malhotra when a guy like Ivar Stenberg is available, that's going to cause a ruckus. That's going to cause a storm. You're going to have a lot of Canucks fans that are disappointed in that question whether or not hiring Manny Malhotra is the right move. If you draft Caleb Malhotra, is there a conflict of interest kind of thing going on? All it takes is one player to get pissed off that Caleb Malhotra is getting power play time and he's not, and all of a sudden that dynamic is questioned and there is a potential ripple effect in the locker room. If you go from number 3 to number 6, you take away a lot of the choice and you take away a lot of the accountability that Vancouver would have to go through if they picked Caleb Malhotra at 3 over an Ivar Stenberg, and let's say Stenberg becomes the next Kucherov and Malhotra becomes the next Jesperi Kotkaniemi. Like, it's possible something like that happens. Montreal reached for Kotkaniemi at 3rd overall in 2018. Guess what? They passed up on Brady Tkachuk and Quinn Hughes. If the Vancouver Canucks are picking at number 3 and they end up making a similar mistake, you won't hear the end of it. This is the beginning of a new regime. This is the beginning of a rebuild. They can't afford to mess up these draft picks. And the funny part is, we have a feeling that there might actually be a chance that they do that, depending on whom it is they select. If you go from 3 to 6, all of a sudden, that decision-making isn't up to you. A lot of these top guys will be taken in the top 5, and then you can take whomever is left. If Ivar Stenberg drops to number 4 and he gets taken by Chicago, okay, so be it. The Vancouver Canucks didn't have the opportunity to pass up on Ivar Stenberg if they trade down to 6. However, if a guy like Caleb Malhotra is still available at number 6, or a guy like Chase Reed is still available at number 6, or even a guy like Viggo Bjork is available at number 6, then there's so much potential that you can grab at that spot in the draft if you really think that this 3 to 7 range is as interchangeable as many believe it to be. There have been reports the Canucks like Tynan Lawrence. That guy didn't produce too much with Boston University this season, but he's still ranked as a top 10 guy. There are other defensemen. Albert Smith could be the next Moritz Seider. Ryan Lynn's a local guy. Maybe he's worth the shot. Caleb Malhotra is ranked in a consolidated rank 13th overall, but there are a number of people saying that Viggo Bjork is better. Who really knows? And that is not even to mention the extra draft picks at 28, 35, 36, and then the other picks the Vancouver Canucks would have at 24 from the Minnesota Wild pick, and then their own first-round pick at 33rd. I mean, the Vancouver Canucks could get 7 guys in the top 40 of the draft if this trade goes through. The question is, does Calgary really want to trade up that much to get an Ivar Stenberg if he's available or whatever? I honestly feel like, at this point, Vancouver needs to go quantity over quality. And we don't even know if they're going to go quality, depending on whom it is that they take. I'm operating from the assumption that they're going to take Caleb Malhotra over a guy like Ivar Stenberg. I've made my opinion clear over the past few weeks and months. I think Stenberg's the second best guy in the draft, if not potentially the first. I would not want to see the Canucks not draft Ivar Stenberg if given the opportunity. So if they drop down to 6, if they make a trade, they get some extra draft picks, I feel like that's a really nice move. The question is, though, could Calgary actually accept this? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this British Roll sign on. And bye.